You know what stops us from taking action is expectation that we need to achieve a certain outcome. And the more I do this podcast, the more I'm learning that it's in the action and the showing up, the consistency, the being here right now, in the moment, present, in the reality that I'm currently living in. And this past week, I was sick for 3 days, and being sick sucked. I couldn't go for my runs. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mellina, and I am your host, and this is The Becoming. I am feeling so weird today. I've had a weird week. It kind of sucked. I was sick for 3 days, and I was supposed to start a new job at a cafe. And at the beginning of the week, I was feeling excited about the prospectus job and just having that stability in my income again. And then Tuesday comes along, night before the trial shift at the cafe. I was set to wake up for 5 a.m. and I did. I woke up at 5 a.m., got there for 6 a.m., and just realized, one, I was already feeling sick, and I forced myself to go. So I waited that morning for the manager to come, and got there for 6:30, so I was sitting there waiting, sick, mind you, and also my routine isn't a 5 a.m. wake up. My routine is 7 or 8 a.m. I wake up, I feed Lola, I brush my teeth, I have a creative morning, so I include these in my creative mornings. I have a sip of water, I take one hit of a joint, I microdose weed in the mornings. And when I tell someone I just take one hit, they're like, no way, it's just, yeah. I meditate, I journal, and then I set an alarm for 1 hour, and I let myself paint. I let myself just play and explore in my apartment and see what I want to do, whether that be write in my book or start creating more zines. I just let myself be creative. I give myself that 1 hour to, I think it was Carl Jung, said everyone would be okay if they let themselves lose their minds. And I love that quote because it gives you this permission to just be like, okay, I'm gonna play. Because we have forgotten how to play, how to view life as a game. And in order to win this game, you have to be aware, present, and conscious of what's going on and how you're feeling. You can't numb your emotions. You have to listen to your emotions as signs signaling you that when you are stressed, that means something needs to change, something needs to happen in order to alleviate yourself from that feeling. You need to reassure yourself and show yourself that you can trust yourself to continuously show up and devote yourself to your life goals, dreams, passions, because it's all happening in this reality. You can't live your life thinking too far into the future and too far back in the past. The present moment is how you need to respond to yourself and life. If a certain place, person, situation ever made your nervous system feel unsafe and you continuously go back to that person or place and you refuse to set boundaries for yourself, you're showing yourself that it doesn't matter that I'm uncomfortable. I'm gonna people please for these people, for acceptance and belonging, but I don't even belong in myself. Growing up, people pleasing was what you do, passed down from generations of trauma, of needing to belong, of survival. And these inherited wounds don't mean that there's something wrong with you. It means that you can be the change you want to see in yourself. By going to therapy and learning how to continuously show up for myself, understand my childhood, understand my current self, the one who wants to grow from everything that's happened in the past. The one who, now that she knows what she deserves, she will not settle. Because when you stop people pleasing, you stop settling for the bare minimum for yourself and for your life. You let yourself have all it is that you desire because you believe in your purpose. You believe in something larger than you. Healing my connection to spirituality has affected my life in ways I can't even describe. And I grew up in a Islamic Muslim household. I have nothing against religions, by the way. Believe what you need to believe in order to feel safe and comfortable, and just trust in life. Believe in something larger. Belief in something larger is just so much more powerful of a way to live your life because you don't put that weight on yourself. You can kind of let go a little bit and take a step back and enjoy the flow of your life. Enjoy what you have right here, right now, in the present moment. Sitting here in this present moment, you have to feel, hi babes, sorry, but you're literally in my way. Can you stop, please? As I sit here, after having the week I had, after being sick, not being really able to go to my trial shift, I just am thinking about how everything happens for a reason, how the right job will still be coming along, the opportunities are always finding me. Hi babes, need to sit. Oh my gosh. Okay, Lola. Stop. This week is teaching me that I, no matter what, need to continuously devote myself to my goals and my dreams, despite the uncertainties life is showing me. It's teaching me that I know who I am still, despite the uncertainty, the unknown. It's teaching me not to self-abandon every time I have the choice of going back into old default mechanisms to cope, or if I want to choose different and take a moment to pause and realize what's happening and get myself out of that spiral before it loops and shames me back into guilt and puts you in a dark place of shame and guilt. Being able to respond to life's uncertainties and its challenges is where your superpower is. And that is the reason I created Anchor. Anchor is going to be a resource, a tool that allows you to, in that brief moment before you fall back into old coping mechanisms, pausing, deciding to anchor yourself back into your body, back into the present, and not letting that feeling or emotion take over. Anchor is a tool and a resource for when you have that brief moment of choice over what tomorrow is going to feel like. Are you going to continue down a shame and guilt spiral? Or are you going to stop it and be aware of what's going on? Listen to your body's cues and signals. For me, before I binge eat or have the urge to satisfy myself and comfort myself with food and feel protected in that way, that my nervous system knows how to regulate me, I now pause. I realize what's going on. The signals and the signs for me are when my hair is greasy, when I bite my nails, when I doom scroll especially, and I'm aware of what's happening. I can choose how I'm going to respond next. Am I going to order Uber Eats, which is nothing bad against it and nothing wrong with it? But for me, this is the pattern that would loop and cycle and repeat for weeks. And then it would be an all or nothing mindset that would kick in. And I would then control my eating to a certain extent or not eat. And then binge again. And it's a cycle and it repeats. And it's a process that you need to understand that your body is going to move through as many times as it needs to in order to rewire that pattern that your consciousness, your subconscious, into realizing you're not in danger. You can do other things to help you cope in much healthier, regulating ways. And by realizing this and understanding that you can rewrite old patterns, you don't have to stay stuck in a certain way of existing or being. You can tell yourself that you already have your dream life, your dream body, your dream reality. Every day you are programming yourself in how you're going to show up in the world, how your body, your vessel functions as part of this whole story. When you realize that moment and anchor, you take back your autonomy and your agency over self. You show yourself that you can listen and respond and not react to your body's signals, that every feeling and every emotion is going to pass through. You connect back to yourself. You anchor back into yourself. And when you are experiencing life's uncertainties, you're always going to, by the way. It doesn't stop. The difference is how you choose to respond or to react. And when you can come from a place of responding, you're not just doing something for yourself. You're showing up for yourself, and you're teaching others how to show up for themselves. You're mirroring back to others who have unhealed wounds. So when you learn how to do this, when you learn how to be confident in yourself, trusting in yourself, when you learn how to claim your power and shine your light and let yourself be seen, you're showing other people it's okay to be seen and that you're safe to be seen. You're healing wounds from centuries ago of survival in your system, coded in your DNA, stored in fascia. Your body keeps the score as the book goes, and it doesn't forget every time you contracted because you didn't say what you wanted to say. Your body doesn't forget every time you overrode its signals and continued in an unsafe environment. And that's generations of trauma stored in the body. That can stop with you. You can break the chain. You can try. But as much as you heal, it makes me sad, obviously, to have set boundaries with my whole family, but that's how I put my boundaries to keep myself safe, emotionally safe and emotionally well. And I will forever advocate for my nervous system. I will continuously show up for myself, and I refuse to go back into old versions that no longer serve me, playing a part just to make someone comfortable, because that's not who I am, and that's not who I've grown into becoming. And every day I choose to become. I want to take my dreams as far as they can go. And I want to let myself always dream. I never want to feel like anything is out of reach, because it's not. I never want to feel that I'm not good enough for who I am showing up in this world, because I am good enough, I am valuable, and I am deserving. Abundance is all of our birthrights. Unconditional love for who you are. Joy. Living in a world, living a life where you believe in love again. In trusting yourself in love, trusting yourself in relationship, feeling secure within yourself to inhabit your whole self and claim your power. Show up as your highest self. You're capable of everything you've ever dreamed of. You're in control of your life, no one else. Every day you show up and you choose you. You're becoming. The more you stay devoted, the more consistent you become. Enjoy the process and forget about the outcome. Because we're not living with expectations. We're living, surrendering to all expectations. Stop expecting people to change just because you've changed. Doesn't mean they will. People need to trust and become secure in themselves again, and that is their own journey. Just like spirituality is your own journey, I have since setting boundaries reconnected with myself, my spirituality, my purpose, and just compassion for myself and compassion for the world. And starting to trust love again, trust myself in relationship, learn discernment, that I can have boundaries, still be deserving of love, and also still be able to hold an immense amount of love without hardening myself completely and shutting myself off emotionally. All emotions you experience need to be felt. You can't suppress your joy anymore just to satisfy someone else. Celebrate yourself and celebrate your life. All your accomplishments, just because you're a villain in someone else's story, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. At the end of the day, you can't control how people perceive you. You can't control anything except for how you anchor back in yourself in this present moment. How you choose to respond. Will you go back to old default coping mechanisms and live in a cage, trapped in your own body? Or are you going to let yourself experience this present moment in the unknown, knowing you'll always have yourself to come home to, anchoring yourself back in your breath, taking deep breaths, knowing that you're always safe, you're always held, and you're always guided. If there's anything you get from listening to this podcast today, I want it to be that you're not selfish for choosing yourself and setting boundaries, that you're allowed to enjoy and celebrate your life despite other people not understanding and not being able to come along for the journey. You're allowed to love yourself despite how it may hurt other people. And when you choose to set boundaries, holy shit, this is an intense conversation. Boundaries keep you safe, boundaries keep you alive, and you can't forget about yourself. Show yourself that you'll always put your needs above anything else. Have compassion, have love for others, but at the end of the day, everyone needs to do the work for themselves. So I've practiced saying, I love you. And I can love you at a distance. I can love you immensely at a distance. I can send you good wishes. I can wish you well. In my meditation, I practice contemplation. I practice how to send love from afar, well wishes from afar. When I meditate, and in any mindful practice, you're training yourself to come back to yourself, to ground in the present moment, to remain in your body for the experiences. And you don't realize sometimes when you've left your body in relationship, in any context that requires you to sit in an uncomfortable emotion. Shame and guilt runs deep, and it's not a fun mirror to face. If there's anything, I want you to just remember how far you've come. I want you to look around, look at your life, list all the things you've once dreamed about, and see how many things match up to this list. Reflect on your day. What went well? What do you want to change for tomorrow? You can decide and you can choose how you want to show up, because the purpose is in the action and not in the outcome. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's something to practice reminding yourself every day. But that is the reality. It's who you become in the process. It's not about the end goal or the expectation, because life will continuously surprise you, and there are so many unknowns in life, so much uncertainty, but how exciting is it that we don't know what's coming next? There's so much more I could talk about meditation and my meditation practice, but another thing I want to mention is this practice I do is learning how to speak kindly to myself with love and kindness and show myself compassion when I do contemplate uncomfortable situations or emotions that surface. Meditation and mindfulness practices teaches you how to sit in the discomfort. And part of adapting this was through my own healing and therapy, learning all of these beautiful things you can do for yourself and how you can enrich your life and become your truest version of self. How you can live in your full potential and show up as your whole self, living on your highest timeline or feeling held by your highest self, trusting and not letting go of yourself again. You can only achieve this through your own healing, your own practices, and your own process. As much as you can show others that it's possible by not stopping, by saying there's no going back, to be honest. You really have to tell yourself there's no going back, and also have compassion for yourself and say, I can come back as many times. I am becoming in the coming back. Every time you can have a comeback. When you remember who you are, when you remember all it is you've become and achieved, and just ground yourself back into this present moment, this present version of self, how am I going to respond and not react? You're choosing for future you, knowing and trusting that your body's signals are never wrong. So trust yourself enough to never give up on yourself. I am going to end the podcast here. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Mellina, and this is The Becoming. I am here every Tuesday. Take care of yourself and water yourself. Talk soon. Bye.